Thank you so much for joining us. At least 800 dogs are poisoned with the banned pesticide Aldicarb every week in South Africa. This is according to poison expert Gerhard Verdoorn, who says the poison, known colloquially as two-step or Halipirim, is responsible for at least 100 murders per year in Johannesburg alone. SABC digital news producer Oosthuizen and Jamaine Krige took to the streets to see just how easily this poison is available.
Aldicarb, also known as Halipirim or two-step, is a pesticide that has been banned in South Africa.
Is it the... You've also got some...
Within seconds of stepping outside the Sunshine Plaza shopping complex in Roodepoort, west of Johannesburg, I'm surrounded by street vendors with a variety of wares. But today, I'm not interested in sunglasses or cell phone chargers.
Big rat problem in Roodepoort. All my rats and my cockroaches, I just bought a new house and they're everywhere. Okay.
I'm immediately showing the best solution on offer. Grey-black granules in a small, unmarked, clear plastic bag. The vendor is holding at least 50 little bags, but tells me that I would only need 4. Approximately 2 teaspoons worth of poison for my rat problem. It would cost me 20 rand for the lot. Many dogs in more affluent suburbs are deliberately poisoned by criminals before housebreakings, while a large percentage of poisonings in townships are accidental. Street vendors will suggest putting the Aldicarb in food to entice the rats. But this also makes the poison bait attractive for dogs and cats. For more on this, follow sabcnews.com as we further our investigations into the illegal trade of Aldicarb poison.
Well, for more on the documentary, I'm joined by SABC News Online producer Oosthuizen and radio reporter and winner of the SAB Enviro Radio Award, Jamaine Krige. Very good evening to you, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, before I get to the actual award, it's so upsetting. Why would people decide to kill such beautiful creatures?
Well, the thing is, it's such a widespread problem, and if you would actually talk to anyone, just prior to coming here, I ran into a colleague who I don't even know, and they already told me of 3 additional cases of Aldicarb poisoning where either it affected their dogs or it affected another human, and that is actually how the story originated. It started in the Eastern Cape. I was invited by Rhodes University to go guest lecture, and I had the unfortunate news broke of Kensani Maseko and her suicide. And I think this is a topic that we really need to talk about, even looking at now the rapper HHP. But anyway, so I was in this mindset and also covered it on the ground there and got back to the SABC. And the minute I got back, I think I was at my desk for 10 minutes and I found out a colleague had committed suicide. And this colleague had taken poison. And I had this in my mind the whole time. We need to get suicide awareness. We need to start talking about mental health issues. How do we as journalists, how do we get this message out there? How do we educate? How do we create awareness? How do we create a change? And I went and I did stories with Cora Bailey from Community-Led Animal Welfare. And it's an animal clinic situated in Durban Deep.
Yeah.
And they literally are in dire surroundings of poverty. There's illegal mining wars going on. The communities of Matolisville, Chepisong, there's just an outcry for help. A colleague of mine, Mama Ponya Motsai, she actually did an amazing feature on how rape culture is a norm in these kind of areas. And I was sitting with her on this day and I was telling her about this colleague of mine at the SABC and that this poison, she took this poison and she died. And she said to me, Dina, I've been telling you about this poison for years. And I thought about it and I was like, yes. And she said, easily in a day, they can get 15 dogs in to their clinic that is poisoned.
Wow.
And I just started to realize that if I, who work in news, who see these things every day, could have dismissed it so much, something needs to be done. And now, currently, newsrooms, we are facing a media convergence where we cannot work in silos anymore. We cannot work just as radio news. We cannot work just as TV news. We cannot work just as digital news. And it's my editor, Isak Minner, who is a pioneer in this, and he encourages us to work and to collaborate with different platforms.
Yeah.
And being a video specialist, I usually focus on TV and online. And I neglect radio just because of time constraints. You know how it goes. It's this story, it's next story, it's this story.
Sure.
And Jamaine, Krige and I work very well together. So I approached her, we sat, and it was like, there's a story. And I was like, no, we are going to do this. And
Actually, someone said to me that the reason that dogs are poisoned, is for purposes of subduing the animals before committing a criminal offense, like murder, like burglary, for instance. But is that the main reason, or there are other reasons that we should know of?
You take this one.
I think one of the interesting things we realized when we were talking to the poison experts, to the officials, is that whether you care about animals or not, whether you care about dogs being poisoned, whether you care about wildlife trafficking, a poisoning is really just a poisoning. A poisoning is the start of a chain of criminal events that often lead to calamity for the human counterparts in the neighborhood as well. So you're looking at syndicates. We heard about some areas where all the dogs in a rural farming town, where all the dogs in one street had been poisoned, and 17 Land Cruisers were stolen in a single evening. You're looking at widespread criminal syndicates using this as well in order to further their crimes.
So how easily is it available?
This is the thing. It's so easily available. It's super cheap. I mean, we walked into Sunshine Corner in Roodepoort, and immediately one guy came, and then all of a sudden 5 other guys came, and it's cheap. It's R5 for a little bit like this, and if you can take into account a tenth of a teaspoon can kill a grown man like yourself within
20 minutes.
Within 20 minutes
after ingestion.
So one of the cases, one of the stories that a relative told us, which is very sad, is a young kid of 20. He took this poison. He was just angry. Kids can be angry at the world, and he took this poison and he went up the hill. And by the time that the people got to him, it was too late. It was in his stomach. The paramedics couldn't revive him, couldn't get it out of him. The stuff is lethal, and it's on our streets everywhere. It is readily available. We've heard of cases where it's outside of Baragwanath's hospital, but these are just rumors. But if you ask anywhere, where can I get rat poison? And people don't know that it's illegal. To possess it is illegal. It's something needs to be done to get this poison, this lethal substance, so that we can prevent suicides, murders, these dog poisonings, but especially suicides.
So in your investigations, have you perhaps been in touch with law enforcement officials and health authorities, to make sure that they conduct a clampdown of this?
So we have been in contact with a number of officials. What was scary is during our initial research, we approached the police to find out about the undercover investigation, to find out if there was a way that we could go about actually purchasing this. And the police didn't know that it was illegal. They told us that it's not a problem to buy because it is just a rat poison, not realizing that it's actually a banned pesticide in South Africa, and it has been banned for years. It is a criminal activity to possess Aldicarb. And the police told us that they didn't realize that it was illegal, so they didn't have a problem with it. We're also told that...
Unfortunately, we don't have much time, but just briefly, this award, it's not only a huge milestone for the SABC and for yourself personally. What does it mean to you?
I think it's amazing when we have a look at what good storytelling, resources, time and collaboration can do.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, we're so pressed that we don't get time to tell stories like this.
All right.
And it's amazing that we got that opportunity.
All right. Nina and
Thank you.
Jamaine, thank you so much for joining us, ladies. We appreciate your time. All right, so that was SABC reporters Nina and Jamaine speaking to us about the dog poisoning phenomenon that's been going on in South Africa.